Limits of the Flesh, Chapter 83, Fantasy Fiction by Azazyel. With the help of Klee and Milicas, who were most definitely not arguing over whether nukes or the power of destruction were stronger. Was going to purge that thought with bleach honestly. I found out that Rias was in one of the many theater rooms watching anime on the mega televisions within the theater room. As projectors were too low quality for the Gremory family apparently. Walking into the theater room, I blinked seeing her and Koneko all bundled up together under a blanket watching the local version of Dragon Ball with Koneko's kitty ears and tails prominently sticking as she lounged lazily across Rias's stomach. As I came into the theater, Koneko's golden eyes snapped to mine, but seeing it was just me, she just rolled her eyes, making me mentally chuckle at the utterly cat-like disregard, but I made sure to make some noise so I didn't surprise Rias. And when she looked upwards from the large futon she was lying upon, I loved how her blue eyes lit up seeing me walking downwards towards her. Her lips turned up into a soft smile, and without a word, I crawled into the futon beside her, with her moving the grumbling Koneko a bit to the side so she could snuggle up to me and lay her head on my shoulder. Koneko, with a heart-wrenching sniffle, being betrayed. Being thrown aside by her king, gave the busty redhead a look of utter disdain, and with a sniff, she crawled over the both of us without care of where her hands and knees went, and even smacking Rias in the face accidentally, with her tail before, with a snort, shamelessly plopping herself in between my legs with her face resting against my stomach and her arms looping around my waist. Rias and I shared a look before giggling, and my hand that wasn't intertwined with Rias's own hand went down to pet Koneko's head and trailed behind her white ears. "So, apparently I am the new Satan Lucifer now," I said softly to Rias. She tensed and she nodded with a small smile as she kissed my cheek and said with love clear in her voice, "Surzex would be proud of you. You are a good man, and you will make a great Satan." "But what changed?" she asked, laying her head back on my shoulder to listen to me talk. I told her that the other factions in the Abrahamic faith had already declared me, the Lucifer, basically as the biggest war deterrent on the devil's side. After all, no one wanted me pissed off and giving them soul aids with how I could twist both flesh with my own powers like Play-Doh, and using the Sephiroth Grawl I could also give someone soul cancer just as easily. Then I got into how the peace committee was going to be held in Las Vegas. Probably at a brothel, or at best, a titty bar, as Azazyel, being best buddies with Odin, who was the host of the conference, was an utter perv dog at the best of times. "Jake. My darling, my love." Rias drawled with an amused smile. "I get it. Don't dirty yourself with a literal prostitute. I am well aware of the meeting Surzex and my father had to have with old pervs who like to unbalance them by having mind-controlled or broken girls serving their every whim. And there was the reminder that humans having zero magical resistance made them susceptible to countrywide hypnosis, and that's why the world wasn't freaking out about Ko becoming a crater. Terrible thing that was. A nuclear reactor going off and sending explosive control rods for literal miles. Truly a terrible thing. I thought before shaking my head clear of those thoughts as I kissed Rias on the forehead, making Koneko sniff at being ignored as my petting hand had stopped. "I know. Remember, I can literally see the diseases and people have. Nothing like shaking someone's hand for a business meeting and learning they have 3 different forms of the same STD. I said sardonically, with Rias snorting at how my face pinched up at that memory. Before either of us could say anything, Koneko made her presence known as she flicked my chest, making me look back down at her. Her only response was a roll onto her back with the back of her head still on my stomach, as finally pulled my hand from her head down to her stomach and then said in a monotone, "Belly rubs please." Rias then joined me as we spoiled the needy petite cat girl with her purring loudly as Rias used her nails to scratch just right behind her ears, and I cheated using my flesh crafting to give her the best belly rub of her life, which made Koneko's eyes roll up with the sheer comfort she was feeling. With us both melting our adorable cat girl mind, I took a moment when we let Koneko get a minute of peace to fully inspect Rias's body, and I smiled seeing the gestation of my own child within her womb was going well and on schedule, and Rias could tell the source of my heartfelt smile as I looked down at her waist as I held her hand. "Love you, Jake," she whispered gently as she kissed the side of my mouth before laying her back down on my shoulder, and her hand that was holding mine went to Koneko's head to have us both slowly and gently play with her ears as we just watched the local ripoff of Dragon Ball where Goku was fighting King Piccolo. And thus I relaxed with my love Rias. Until I finally worked up the nerve and said, "Rias, my love. Her blue eyes looked at me with a raised eyebrow and I said quickly. I fucked your mom and your sister-in-law. Even Koneko looked at me and I could see the respect in her eyes as she got up, got off the futon and she left the theater with a muffled. It was nice knowing you, Jake.